Hello and welcome to a new episode of Adobe Creative Cloud TV. My name is Terry White, and in this episode we're going to take a look at what's new in Muse CC in the February 2015 update. And as you know, as a Creative Cloud customer or Creative Cloud member, you get these updates along the way as soon as they're available for your favorite products. Well, Muse just got an update today, so let's take a look at what's new. The first thing that I get to talk about that's new is one of those things that it's not a menu option, it's not a button, it's not something I click on, it's performance. It's under the hood improvements that just make Muse faster along the way. We've heard your cries. We've heard that once you're building a more complex site, a site with maybe dozens or hundreds of pages, things may start to slow down. So the team spent extra time on this particular release optimizing everything under the hood, not only just the coded outputs, but actually making Muse faster along the way. Faster at opening your sites, faster at converting, faster at zooming. All the things that you kind of wished were faster should now be faster in this update. So now let's take a look at some things that we can click on and buttons and things that we can do. First thing I'll do is go ahead and open up the home page. And on the home page, it's one of those nice long scrolling pages that has scroll effects and all those cool things. Nicely designed as well. Well, now your grabber hand and your zoom tool have an extra function. If you double click the grabber hand, it will zoom your long page out to fit in window. That way you get to see the whole thing as needed, so you can see where you still need to do some work, how it looks overall. And of course, double clicking the zoom tool will zoom you into 100%. So even right off the bat, you can just see how much faster these things are doing. Just double clicking the zoom, it's instantaneous. All right, so now let's close that. And the next couple things are kind of behind the scenes hidden gems that you may not have even noticed if someone doesn't point them out to you. First and foremost, as you know, when you want, you can right click on any particular page and you can say, don't export that page. In other words, I'm working on that page, I'm designing, I don't have all the content yet, I want to upload the rest of the site, don't put this page in the site yet. Well, you could do that before, but the problem is if you did that on more than one or two pages, you may not remember which ones were set to not export and which ones were. Now there's an actual visual indicator. The page is dimmed out when it's not going to be exported. So you get a quick visual across your entire site of which pages aren't exporting until you turn them on. And also that little dog ear lets me know as well if I couldn't see the dim. The next one is definitely hidden. It's one of those things that you would continue using Muse the way you always did if you didn't know this was here. And that is, of course, you have master pages. And if you wanted to use one of these masters in the past, you would first go create the page that you wanted to apply the master to, and then drag the master onto it. Well, we have eliminated some of those steps. Now all you have to do, if I want to use the interior to create a new page, interior master, why not just drag it up and let it create the new page? So I don't have to create the page first and then apply the master. I can just use the master in one fatal swoop to create the new page. So I'm going to go ahead and create this new page and call it play. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and double click on that play page where I'm going to go to my library panel. I've got some sample content here so you don't have to watch me type. I'm just going to go ahead and drag some text onto the page. Now, when I drag the text onto the page, of course, it comes in the way it was styled originally. And now that I'm in Muse in the February update, I can take advantage of some new features. First and foremost, it says prepare the machine. Well, I would love that to be first and not one ST. So let's go ahead and highlight the ST, go to our text panel, and you guessed it, we have uppercase, lowercase, superscript, and subscript. And when I choose superscript, it will do the right thing and work accordingly across browsers. So it's actually applying the right styling behind the scenes to make that work. And of course, I could do subscript if I needed to. I can toggle those on and off as needed. And in the case where I want to change the case, pun intended, I have the ability to go all lowercase, even if it was mixed case or uppercase. I have the ability to go all uppercase. And of course, if I don't want either one of those anymore, I can turn them off and go back to the way it was originally typed. So all uppercase, great. The ability to change your case and do that all at once. Next, let's go ahead and go to our widget library. Now, of course, I love speed, just like anyone else. Speed is one of my favorite new features, but the feature that I'm probably going to use every day besides speed is when I'm using the widgets. Well, here, let me show you. let's go ahead and you've seen me use the tooltip widget in the past, and you probably have seen me fight with it in the past, because when you drag out one of these widgets on the page, what's nice is for a new Muse user, you get samples. You get 3 states of this widget, 3 triggers, sample picture, sample text, all the nice styling, everything's there. Well, that's great if you don't know what you're doing. Once you're used to using these widgets, once you've learned how they work, then it becomes a chore to delete all that extra stuff, take off all that styling, just so you can start from scratch or style it the way you want. And I sometimes forget to change a state or remove a state or take something off or delete something, and it just causes me extra work. Now we've made that a lot easier. First of all, I can right click now and I can say just simply clear all styling. Just get rid of all the styling, get rid of all the extra things, and more importantly, I can even say clear widget contents, my favorite new menu option in Muse, period. So get rid of everything. Now, here's the problem. I got rid of everything, including all the framing, all the strokes, everything. So I may even forget where this is. Well, we took care of that as well. If we go up to your view menu, you have the ability now to show frame edges, just like in InDesign. So if I show the frame edges, even if it's something that has no stroke, no fill, I can quickly find it. And for those of you who have ever lost a trigger on the page, you'll know what I mean. It's great to be able to find these triggers and then, of course, place them, move them, do whatever you want, and you still don't have to put a stroke around it. I used to keep the stroke around it or the fill on it long enough to get it in place and then turned it off as the last state or step. Now I don't have to, and I can keep creating additional states of this particular widget, and it will just keep creating the triggers that are the same, no styling, and then of course I can still pick them up, move them around, do what I want to do with them, put them over other objects. So having these across all the widgets, slideshows, the whole 9 yards, I don't have to worry about deleting all that stuff manually. Muse takes care of it for me. Okay, so next let's go ahead and take a look at another one of those kind of hidden gems in this version. Let's go into the links panel. Actually, let's go back to this particular one and let's go to the links panel. Or I'm sorry, they call it the assets panel. In the assets panel, you have the ability, of course, to see all your assets and things that are placed, and if it can find the original versions, which in some cases in mine it can't, it will give you the warning symbol. But a lot of times you may have had something like on the background that was almost impossible to find, without clicking and trying to drill down to it. Now you can see your background elements, and more importantly, you can go to those elements. You can say reveal in Finder if you want to look at it out on the desktop and find out where it is, or go to asset use. Show me where this is. Now, of course, you could have always done that with a graphic and seen all the instances of that graphic. But now you have the ability to see it even if it's a background element. So let's go to use. Show me wherever that is in my site. There it is. There's that icon. Great. I now know where it is. But it gets better. Let's say I scroll down here and I go in and I see, oh, this is an ingredients step here, and I want to go ahead now and style that. So let's go to our paragraph styles. Let's go ahead and say that we want to make this the ingredients style. Ingredient style. And let's say I've used that maybe throughout my site, or maybe I haven't, I don't know. Well, now I can right click on any of these styles and I can say go to style use. So I can say, show me where these styles are being used. Let me make any changes or corrections I want. And that works for paragraph styles, graphic styles, basically all your styling sets that you can do here in Adobe Muse. Bulleted list, so forth and so on. All right, last but not least, this is probably going to help, especially people that are setting up their site for the first time, or even though they've used Muse before, maybe they're creating new sites for customers or colleagues. And now let's say the site's done, which it isn't, but let's say it is, and I want to now upload this site to my hosting provider. Of course, that would mean go to File, Upload to FTP Host. Now the problem is, of course you'll get the address and username and password from your hosting provider, but What method? I don't know what they necessarily support. Is it FTP? Is it secure FTP? Well, now there's an actual auto detect. So in other words, when you put in your credentials and you click next, it will figure out by going and looking at that hosting provider what they support. So if they support secure FTP to make your uploads more secure, then you've got it already set up. It'll just do it for you. So auto detect in your uploading. So those are just some of the main highlights of this February update for Adobe Muse CC for 2015. Go ahead and take a look at it. It's available today. Grab it and have fun designing sites in Adobe Muse. My name is Terry White. Thanks again for watching.